My guest today is Rob Baker, the Command Information Officer for the Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command. Rob, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So this is interesting. Earlier in the month, I had somebody who's a Chief Innovation Officer. Now I have a Command Information Officer. So it's kind of nice to change up my Ask the CIO program a little bit. So first of all, let me just start at the beginning. What is a Command Information Officer? Is it any different than a Chief Information Officer? And if so, how?
Well, I would say the main difference is that I'm the CIO for this command. In the Department of Navy, there's really only one Chief Information Officer, and that is Mr. Weiss. Aaron is the Chief Information Officer. So each of the subordinate commands have Command Information Officers. That's the way the Navy decided to do it.
All right, I figured it was something logical. So I wanted to get that out of the way in case if someone's confused about how it works. We're talking today a lot about operational technology. We're talking about the convergence of OT and IT. So let's start with operational technology a little bit. There's a big emergence of these types of devices, this type of operational technology. And obviously the Navy Facilities Systems Command is a big user, a big supporter of the operational technology. So let's talk about the emergence of it in your agency and how is it reliant on the bigger IT network?
So in Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command has a unique role in operational technology in that it primarily we're responsible for all of this facilities related, and the Department of Defense term of art is facilities related control systems. So it's in our mission as NAVFAC to do facility related control systems. It's also something that as a SysCom in the Department of Navy that we're the technical authority for. And since we're the technical authority for facility related control systems, we're also responsible for the cybersecurity of that operational technology. Back in maybe 2013, 2014 timeframe, NAVFAC created an operational technology program office. And when the DoD 8500 came out about a year later, we started to look at, this is now required to have a risk management framework activity done on it. And so this emergence and the cybersecurity kind of grew together over the last 7 or 8 years. Our Navy mission, big Navy mission, is very reliant on some of these control systems, as you could imagine.
One of the things about the emergence of the operational technology is it's always been there. It's just it's a different type of reliance today than maybe 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, because not just of IoT devices, but the way these systems have evolved over the years. Talk to me about how you've seen the changes at NAVFAC around operational technology.
So starting maybe 2014, as I said, with the RMF, there was also in the interest of renewable energy and things, we saw a great proliferation of energy resiliency projects across the Department of Navy. And NAVFAC is the head contracting authority for that type of thing for the department. And so we were in the process of doing these energy projects, utilities projects, and also beginning to employ some smarter technologies in our facilities with the newer military construction projects. And so what's happened over that time is that we've had to grow both the technology aspect and the cybersecurity aspect in concert with each other. The larger Department of Defense, working with the Air Force and the Army and with us, we put together a unified facilities criteria for the employment of these technologies in buildings. So whether it be just a maintenance project, a sustainment of an existing set of control systems, or a bigger project like a military construction project, this unified facilities criteria was established and signed out in 2016, and all of the Department of Defense, uses that, and we in turn do it as well. So we've seen the requirement, obviously, for these to be cyber secure, and that's one of the reasons this criteria was created, was to get uniformity and the ability to do risk management framework and to cyber secure these things. So we created kind of a defense in depth strategy to deal with this in an enclave off the different types of systems into their various enclaves. And so both cybersecurity and the emergence of technology, I think, have kind of grown with us over time.
Give me a sense of the strategy around this right now in terms of securing the OT type of technology, and then relate back also to this idea of IT, and does it, because they can't be separate anymore, and I think that's really the big challenge for a lot of organizations.
So what's separated is we've completely isolated all of our operational technology on its own platform. So that's one key thing, is that we don't allow the internet to touch this platform. So that it's an isolated situation, and that helps us a lot as we're monitoring what's going on the control system side. The NMCI and the rest of the Department of Navy's unclassified network infrastructure is not connected or touching this. But I think you make a good point in your question but you are relying on IT, and absolutely. So we have to use routers, switches, servers. All of that IT equipment is in our operational technology infrastructure platform, and it's enclaved off. And whether that be to do HVAC control, whether that be SCADA to control some utility activity on an installation, but it's on its own isolated network.
That makes sense. I'm actually it's probably a little surprising, because I think a lot of agencies, and DoD is definitely not your typical agency, but a lot of even organizations, the way the OT has grown up over time, they all of a sudden said, oh, we have this update or this change, we better hook it into the internet to get the patching, to get the updates. You've separated that, but you still necessarily don't, it's not secured off from that public internet piece. So you still have similar challenges of security, I imagine.
Well, we still have to perform, patch updates. We just need to, let's just say, sneakernet those patch updates in. It's not that much different, and I don't want to spend time talking too much about the afloat community, because that's not what this interview is about. But as you can imagine, the ships at sea operate disconnected also. And so when they do patch updates, they receive a patch in the mail on a portable media, and do the update that way. So the Department of Defense has got kind of a history of doing things what we would call on-prem, but not connected to the internet. And that's how we do our patch updates on our isolated platform network.
Okay, that's a great example of the ships at sea, as you said. They not quite sneaker net, but at least mail net, right? And got to send them the thumb drive or whatever it is, and get it going. Does this add more complexity to your job? Does it add more complexity to the ability to secure operational technology because it's not connected to the internet? Because, for instance, you have an update, a system, I'll make it up, maybe it's not a great example, but Siemens, you're using a Siemens system that needs an update. They can't just push it to you. You have to pull it in. And before you pull it in, there's 3 layers of effort that maybe has to go into it before you can get to that update. If my question makes sense,
No, it does make sense. It does make sense. So, agnostic of who the partner or vendor is for that, they would like to be able to push the update directly to us. And prior to maybe about 2015, a lot of these older control systems would have a telephone dial-up modem, and the contract that we had, supporting that particular control system, the part of this, the SLA was for them to actually dial in, do the patch update, and come back out. But in the advent of things like Task Force Cyber Awakening and things that happened in the Navy at about that same time, it became clear that that was not the best practice, right? From a cybersecurity, from getting the mission of updating the patch, that was working out really well. But from the other perspective of the potential risk of someone else dialing in and trying to patch it, so that's one of the reasons we went to the isolated scenario. But you're absolutely right. The vendors community would love to provide that service that way.
And I know it's one of the, I think, big challenges a lot of other organizations have that haven't enclaved it off, haven't separated it, and they're having that dual network in many ways, the OT network and the IT network coming together. Rob, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we can continue our conversation about operational technology and cybersecurity. My guest is Rob Baker, the Command Information Officer for the Navy Facilities Engineering Systems Command. I'm Jason Miller, and you're listening to Ask the CIO, sponsored by Tenable on Federal News Network.